this is Via and my puppy Henry, and today we are going to show you my Care Bears bullet journal. This is the 6th installment of my bullet journal series this year, which is all themed around cute cartoon animals, and I was super excited to do this one. While all of these characters are super nostalgic to me, I feel like Care Bears is in particular just because they were everywhere when I was a kid. And I think just like looking at all the different old art styles and stuff really brings back a lot of memories. So I personally really enjoyed doing these spreads, and I spent a really calm and peaceful couple of days working on them. I like sketching everything out in colored pencil versus a gray graphite pencil, because that way if it does end up peeking through the line art, which it always does, it looks a little bit softer and more gentle and it's not as obvious, just because I use lots of colors, and especially in this spread I used a lot of light pastel colors, so I think this is definitely the way to go to achieve my overall vision. I also chose to outline with a light brown instead of black for a similar reason. I wanted the colors to pop and I wanted the spread to look really soft and gentle, and so instead of doing the more harsh black, I went with this brown so that it would blend in a little more. The main reference image that I used for these spreads was actually from a different bear than is featured in the cover page. So this is the Togetherness bear, which is a newer bear, and so you couldn't find a reference photo in the art style that I wanted to kind of emulate, and so I took a picture of, I think, Cheer Bear and then a newer picture of Togetherness bear, and I combined them, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Honestly, I think the balloons were the part that I was worried about most with this cover page, because I wanted to make them look a little bit transparent, and I've never done that effect before, and so here I'm just trying to outline with a lighter highlighter, and then I'm going to fill in the entire balloon with a colored pencil, so it is a lot more softer and lighter. And the balloons that are kind of have parts of themselves hidden behind other balloons, I outlined those parts in the like pink and the blue so that it looked a little bit softer, and I was hoping it would give it that effect of being kind of obscured by something else. I think layering was also key here to obtain that transparent effect, but it was really difficult because I was using all these really light colors, so I'm not quite sure if the effect translated the way that I wanted it to. I had to take lots of puppy breaks throughout this process. My puppy Sammy joined Henry, and they were just all hanging out on the bed while I worked. Now it was time to color in Togetherness Bear, and I continued using colored pencils because she has a lot of colors on her, and so I wanted him to have like this effect of being soft and being a beautiful gradient, and I think this is probably my favorite part of the spread, and honestly one of my favorite cover pages that I've done this year, specifically because of how Togetherness Bear turned out. I decided to do the titles in highlighter because I used colored pencil for a good part of these spreads, and so I wanted the letters to stand out a little bit more. So using the bright highlighter that has the more pigmented colors is the way to go. I'm not sure what you would consider the style of line art to be, but I've seen a lot of people on Instagram and TikTok doing their line art with these kind of little gaps and dots between, and I think it looks really cute, especially because it gives everything a little bit more of a softer and more playful look, which is definitely what I was going for in this spread. Also decided I wanted to have just a little ring of green stars around Togetherness Bear, just because I thought it'd look cute and I felt like I needed a little bit more green to balance out some of the other colors in the spread. After that, I started coloring in the clouds, and each cloud is a different color. So there's a pink one up there, Togetherness Bear gets to sit on a little blue cloud, and then there's a purple one over by the balloons. I outlined each cloud based on the color that it was, and I kind of messed up on the pink one and have a little bit of a thicker line up there, but I don't think it's super noticeable. And I also added kind of these little bubbles inside for texture. It took me so long to decide how I was going to do the border because I was I didn't know if I wanted to outline in a pen or marker, if I wanted it to be all one color, I wanted to do different colors, and even what color I was going to use. So by the time I got to actually doing the border, I was just kind of I'm just going to do orange and I'm going to see how it goes. And I was so nervous because I don't usually use a lot of orange in my spreads, and I was is it going to look bad? But it ended up turning out so pretty. And now the final details are just with this kind of greenish yellow highlighter, and here's the final look. It is literally, I think, one of my favorite spreads that I've ever done in my bullet journal. This is just going to be a simple reading list. I'm not putting habit trackers on this page this month. So I got to be really creative and artistic with it, and I started out with doing this little rainbow around the title, and I was working so hard to keep my hand steady and also to make sure that there's enough ink in these highlighters as they were kind of starting to die in the first spread, so I had to store them upside down on the side of the mildliner I wanted to use. I'm not quite sure that I liked doing the orange, the dark orange title, but I think it does look better once the entire spread is completed. And I just wish that I had done a lighter color for it, maybe used colored pencil or the orange highlighter. Next, I started drawing in some clouds because I feel like those are a quintessential Care Bears image, just all playing in the clouds. And I kept these blue to kind of soften out the orange title, and I used this drawing of, I think this is Cheer Bear, let me look that up. Okay, yes, in fact, this is Cheer Bear. I think she's always been one of my favorites because, I mean, pink is just a fantastic color. So I sketched out the image in the purple pencil and using a brown marker this time to outline. This is a very similar color to the pen I used because I wanted this to be the focal point of the spread, so I wanted to do more of a thicker line. I don't know, like, if I consciously decided that I wanted all the Care Bears patches to be just done in pen, but I really like how it turned out because they stand out a lot, and you'll see it in the other spreads when I draw kind of smaller images. You're able to see the patches a lot more clearly. I used a couple different pink colored pencils just to really get the shadows right and the layering right so you could see a bit more of that dimension and to make it look a bit more like fur. After filling in these clouds with the blue mildliner, I ended up finishing the spread. I forgot to film so many parts of this spread, including like a final video image, but this is basically what it looks like at the end. Alright, it's time now to do the character page for the month, and so I am doing just a bunch of the different Care Bears. I'm just doing honestly my favorite ones from when I was a kid, and so the title this time is going to be Inside of a Blue Cloud because it is opposite the reading list page, and I wanted to make sure that they are pretty cohesive. Kind of messed up on the lines, so they ended up really thick. But in the end, I think it's okay, and I got to use my purple glitter gel pen to write the title so it has a nice little bit of sparkle when you move the page. I also wanted to bring in some elements of the first spread into this page, so I'm outlining not quite like the same clouds, but similar to the border on the first page in that orange marker and filling it in with the orange mildliner. This is the only place where I decided to keep the line art in the thinner fine-tipped pen versus a marker, just because the images were so small that I didn't want the line to be too dark for the pictures. I had to stop for the day, so on the next day I started journaling again, and I was so ready to just finish these because I had spent so long on it yesterday and I only had like a few more hours to work on them before I had a bunch of other stuff to do. So I got straight to work again and went in and started coloring everything in, coloring in the patches and still using that colored pencil for all the bear's fur. Next, it was time to write their names, and I didn't keep them in exactly the same spot where I had sketched it out because some of the pictures got a little bigger than I had planned, but I tried to make sure I kept everything inside. And Friend Bear is also a little bit special to me because I was able to give that to one of my best friends for her birthday last year, and so now every time I see Friend Bear, I think of her, and that is just such a warm memory. To add a little bit more sparkle to the page, I also outlined all of the circles in glitter gel pen, and that I think turned out really pretty too. And here's the final result. Alright, it's finally time to move on to the quotes page, and this one features Funshine Bear, another favorite. And I began by drawing the bear based off this reference image. And once again, I outlined the bear in the marker because this is the focal point of the spread, so I just wanted the lines to be a little bit thicker and more noticeable. I kind of regret coloring in the patch with just a little fine tip pen, but I eventually got it all colored in and it ended up really cute. I loved the rainbow balloon in the picture, so I decided to include that here, and by this point I'd gotten pretty good at drawing the balloons with a lot of practice, and it went pretty quickly. Similar to the reading list page, I did kind of like a little rainbow stripe, and it was a little bit difficult on the parts where the pages met, but I just took it slowly and I made sure that I tried to match it up on each page as much as possible. For the title here, I use the same purple gel pen as I used on the character page. So in every month, I've been using the quotes that I put into my planner at the beginning of this year for each month. So I started drawing those from there. And I wanted to try to use each of the colors that I've been using in the other spreads, and I thought I had so much more space than I actually did. The beginning looks super good, and then at the end it gets so cramped. Lastly, I draw the same border again that I had on the first page to make everything nice and cohesive, and fill that in with the mildliner. And here is the completed quotes page. I am so excited about these spreads and excited to share them with you all. I think that the cover page is amazing. I'm like so proud that I did that, and all the other spreads make me so happy too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful and relaxing. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.